Hi friends, welcome back to Teaching in Room 9, our region's largest classroom. My name is Julia and I'm one of the second grade teachers at the Soulard School. Here for Teaching in Room 9, all of my lessons are going to be for second graders and they all focus on math, but everyone is always encouraged to join. Welcome back friends, I'm so excited that you're here with me again today. I hope that you're having a really great week and I can't wait to do some more practicing with our patterns here again today. All right, so all my friends know I love to start my lessons with our mindful minute exercise. So we're going to focus again today on taking 3 deep breaths here together. We're going to loosen our shoulders, our muscles, any tension that we might be feeling in our forehead, our neck. Sometimes I carry a lot of tension in my jaw or my stomach. So I'd like you to just kind of try to relax and loosen up your muscles in your body. We're going to take 3 deep breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. And then we'll continue taking those deep breaths. And I want to talk to you a little bit more about creating that safe space or cozy corner for you at your home. All right, friends. So we're going to take our deep breaths here together. Breathe in through your nose and count to 3. And out. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in again through your nose. 3. And out. 1, 2, 3. Again, breathe in through your nose. Through your mouth. All right, friends, keep taking those deep breaths in and out, in and out. Really focus on your breathing. Notice your air filling your lungs and leaving every time you inhale and you exhale. So we talked yesterday, friends, about how I always in my classroom have what I like to call our cozy corner, or like a safe place for us to go when we start feeling a little overwhelmed by any emotions that we might be having at that time. I talked about how I always have like a cozy carpet or rug for my friends to lay on with nice cozy stuffies or pillows that make you feel right at home and safe. And I talked about how it is always a space where we go and we do something called an engine check. So I always have pictures of our different colors for our engine check and some of those feelings that we might be feeling at that time when we're feeling maybe a little more blue, yellow, or red. And then I always talk through all of those different strategies for how to recenter our body, whether we're feeling blue, which is kind of lower energy level, or feeling really sad or down or sleepy that day. What are some ways that we can recenter and focus our bodies and our brains so that we're feeling more green, more centered and ready to learn? We talked about how yellow is when you feel your emotions, your tensions, how your body might be reacting, starting to rise. Maybe you're starting to feel a little bit more high energy, a little bit spazzy, or a little bit excited. Maybe you're feeling a little bit anxious, or maybe you're starting to feel a little bit angry. You can feel those feelings start to escalate within your body, and you recognize that within yourself. How does it feel when I can tell I'm starting to get a little bit anxious or upset? And then again, we talk about different ways we can recenter when we're feeling yellow so that we're focused and ready to learn. And then red is when we start to feel a little out of control. Maybe we're so angry at a peer or something that happened throughout the day. Maybe we are feeling really anxious or really upset, or we're just really high energy that day, and we want to then refocus and center our body. We talked about how I always have my Calm Down kit. Yesterday, we practiced taking those 5 deep breaths together and pulling one off. For each deep breath you take in and out through your nose and out through your mouth. And then we had talked about how I always have a notepad with crayons or pencils for my friends to write or color or draw about how they are feeling. I always have a sensory bottle in my calm down kit so that a friend can really focus their breathing as they look and watch the glitter and the cool things that are inside the bottle go up and down. So that I always have some dragons in here too, and my friends can then try to find the dragons as they're focusing on their breathing. I usually have some social stories as well, or maybe some sensory materials for my friends to play with. I always have these different yoga poses in here for my friends to practice, and that helps to sort of recenter and regulate how they're feeling. And then I have all these amazing calm down strategies. It says, I can calm down. So I want to just quickly read through these with you so it helps you to kind of give some tools for you in your mind for when you start to feel overwhelmed. These are tricks or tips that you can use at home or at school when you're starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed. Again, you can squeeze something. That's why I have some of those sensory materials. This one I find really helpful, counting, and it shows a picture of a friend counting to 10. I often like to count backwards. I find that really relaxing, from 10 all the way down to 1. In my school, we have a little trampoline, so you can ask to jump when you're starting to feel yellow or red, and that helps to refocus your body. Thinking about happy thoughts, maybe there's something that really brings a lot of joy to your mind and to your heart, and that might be something you want to think about in that moment to help you to feel a little bit better. This one makes my heart so very sad that we can't really be doing this right now with social distancing and everything that's happening. But under normal circumstances, you can always ask for a hug. And that's something I love to give to my friends. Makes me very sad that we can't really have so many hugs right now. You may choose to listen to something, to music, write. That's why I always have that pad in my calm down kit. Go for a quick walk, sometimes just leaving your space, taking a quick walk around the school, or maybe a walk around your house or your neighborhood. Sometimes getting out of that space really helps you to recenter your body. I love playing with Play-Doh. I love how it feels, squishing my fingers, and then I'm focusing on what I'm building or creating or how it feels in my fingers and not focusing on those yucky feelings. Doing some jumping jacks might help you to get out some of that extra energy. Reading a book always helps me to kind of take me out of that headspace I might be in and into that setting that story might be taking place. This is a really great one, friends. Pushing against a wall helps to sort of focus that energy into a specific space. Stretching. This is why yoga is so awesome for when you're starting to feel overwhelmed. Draw. So again, that's why I've got that crayons or pencils and a notepad in my calm down kit. Getting a drink of water, staying hydrated is always so important. Looking at that sensory bottle we talked about. Sometimes looking in the mirror helps you to kind of self-check. Again, check your engine and see how you're feeling. Sitting down in a cozy area in your safe space. Doing some yoga. Wiggling on a cushion. This could even just be a cushion or a pillow you have at your house. This one, obviously, taking those deep breaths together. And that was our last strategy. All right, friends. So I really hope that going through some of these calm down strategies helps to kind of give you some ideas that you can put in your own little toolbox so that when you start to feel a little overwhelmed, especially right now with everything that's going on, emotions are feeling a little bit high right now. So hopefully some of those strategies can help you to calm down. And again, I encourage my friends at home to create a safe space, a place that you can go in your house or your bedroom that feels calm, safe, and you can go there to kind of process through some of those feelings and practice some of these different calm down strategies. All right, friends, I hope that taking those deep breaths and going through some of those strategies with you helped you to feel more focused, centered, and ready to learn. I'm ready to jump into our learning goal or objective. Again, we are focusing on looking, or it says I can, look for, and make patterns. And again, this week we focused all on geometric patterns or shape patterns. Next week, this will be our same learning goal, but we'll be focusing more on how we can take what we learned with geometric patterns and apply it to number patterns. All right, and we also talked, friends, again about why it is important to be learning patterns. So just as a refresher for your brains, why is it important for us to always practice patterns when we already know how to make patterns? Or maybe you've been doing it for a really long time. So again, patterns are that heart, or sort of that center, that lifeblood of math. Patterns help you to make predictions. Once you found that pattern rule, you can predict what's going to happen next. They help us to see relationships, being able to see the relationship or the pattern between each step, and then you're able to figure out what your pattern rule is and extend. They help us to make sense and order. They help us develop logic and critical thinking skills, all those awesome problem solving skills, which is a really important skill for us to practice. Over here, they help us to identify or find regularities or similarities, and then we're able to look at those similarities and then form rules and concepts for how our patterns are being built. And then again, you can see patterns in art, music, nature, reading. They're truly the foundations for learning. And then I had mentioned yesterday too how I encourage you to try to start looking for patterns all around you. And I guarantee that once you start looking for patterns, it's going to be hard to stop because they are all around you in our world. And then I said again at the bottom that patterns help build strong mathematicians. And I know that after you guys have been at home practicing these with me all week long, that I've got so many strong, amazing mathematicians at home ready to work on some more patterns together. All right, so let's go ahead and sing our song together. Again, it's to the tune of the Ants Go Marching. We're gonna build on our song next week, adding in some more specific information about number patterns. And then we're gonna pop back to this extending patterns challenge that we had started yesterday. We worked on extending the patterns for 1 and 2, and then now pattern 3 is a little bit more challenging. So I wanna try that together and see if we can get through some of these other pattern extending activities that I have for us here today. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start singing our song. I hope by now you guys are able to sing along with me at home. You guys ready? Okay. A pattern, it goes on and on, hurrah, hurrah. A pattern, it goes on and on, hurrah, hurrah. A pattern, it goes on and on. It could be shapes or numbers too. And when we solve the pattern rule, then we can extend, bum, bum, bum. A pattern can be growing or repeating. A pattern can be growing or repeating. A pattern can be growing where you add on more and more each time, or the pattern will repeat in all these ways, bum, 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 bum. Yay, you guys sound amazing. Thank you for singing along with me. All right, again, so our pattern, we know it can be repeating. A pattern, it goes on and on, hurrah, hurrah. We learned about shape patterns or geometric patterns. The definition again for a vocabulary word pattern is that it occurs when something is repeated and arranged following a rule. So let's jump down to our vocabulary at the bottom of our chart here. Geometric patterns we've talked about are shape patterns. We're also going to look at number patterns next week. Then we have the words growing and repeating. We know that a pattern can be growing or repeating. And then we will talk a little bit more next week about decreasing and increasing patterns. We know too that once you figure out the pattern rule or how you arrange your pattern, then you are able to extend or continue to build upon that pattern. We also talked about how you can, when you are making your own patterns at home, I encourage you to go on a walk around your neighborhood and see if you can find some materials just all around you in nature, and then you're able to decide how you want to arrange your pattern and what kind of pattern rule you're going to create. I mentioned too how you can create patterns based on so many different things. Here, we're kind of focusing a lot on different shapes. So maybe you want to do it by shape. Maybe you want to arrange your pattern by color. Maybe you want to arrange your pattern by texture, soft things, hard things, maybe size, big and small. So you can choose when you get to make your own patterns what kind of like repeating pattern you'd like to do. Maybe you want to do ABC, but you want to add a fourth one in there and do ABCD. Maybe you really like the AAB or the ABB patterns. Or maybe you want to create a growing pattern like we were practicing with yesterday in our extending pattern challenge. Our orange and our yellow snap cubes, they were growing or getting bigger each time, right? A pattern can be growing where you add on more and more each time, or the pattern will repeat in all these ways. All right, nice job, friends. I hope this is really starting to make sense and that you guys are feeling much more comfortable and confident in how to solve for patterns. So now I want to jump back to this pattern 3. So I had mentioned last time how the first thing my math brain goes to is that I can see. I'm going to make some observations and I can observe or see that there are 2 colors in pattern 1 and in pattern 2. In pattern 1, we were looking at yellow and blue cubes. In pattern 2, we were looking at orange and purple cubes. And I wanted to see how much each one was changing, or each color was changing in each pattern. So we looked at the yellow and the blue, and we saw that the blue had 2 blue cubes, but that stayed the same as the pattern was growing. And then we noticed the same thing in our pattern 2, how there's only 1 purple cube. And again, that stayed the same as our pattern was growing. So now I want to see if you guys are able to solve this trickier pattern 3 with me at home. So how many colors do you see in this pattern 3? Yep, you got it. There are 3 different colors. That's the first thing my math brain notices. So I want to look at each color, and then that will help me to solve. So our very first stack right here, let's look. So I see green, I see orange, and I see purple. How many green cubes are in this first stack? You got it. There are 2 green cubes. Then how many orange cubes are there in this first stack? You got it, just 1. Then how many purple are in this first stack? I can already see that there's a lot of them. Let's count them here together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 purple cubes. So I have already created that here with my snap cubes. So I have 2 green, 1 orange, and 10 purple cubes. Okay, so now I'm gonna look at my second stack. I'm going to start with the green color here at the bottom. So I had 2 in my first stack. How many do I have in my second stack of just green cubes? You are so smart, friends. You can see that there are 4 green cubes. So I had 2, and then I went to 4 green cubes. I'm starting to make a prediction. If I went from 2 to 4, I added on how many? Yeah, I added on 2 green cubes. I'm going to now look at my third stack, just focusing on that first color, those green cubes. I want to see if my prediction is correct. So I went from 2 to 4. How many green cubes are in this last stack? Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Was my prediction correct? Yeah, it was. I was able to notice that regularity or that similarity. I made my prediction, and I saw in my third stack that my prediction was correct. My green cubes are going up by how many each time? Yep, they're going up by 2 each time. So I had 2 in my first stack here. Then I had 4 in my second stack here. Then I had 6 in my third stack right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I wanted to extend the pattern on to the next one, how many green ones would I need? First I had 2, then 4, then 6. And we know our pattern rule is you add on 2. So what's 2 more onto 6? You are so smart, friends. 8 green cubes. So these 3 that I have over here are the same. I just built a model for us to use as what is pictured here. So then now I'm going to start building on because I want to extend or continue on in my pattern. So I know my green ones, my pattern rule is to add on 2. So I went from 2, 4, 6 to 8 green cubes. I want to check my work, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so I've solved for my green. If I want to add on another one, a second one, in addition to the 3 that we already have pictured here, I had 2, then 4, then 6, then 8. How many green cubes would I have if I wanted to extend on one more stack? So smart, friends. You are absolutely right. Look at all those green ones. I went from 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 to 10. You got it. Let's count them to check our work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice job. So I solved for the green one already, but I know that I have a second color here, which is orange. So let's look at our picture here. I can see how many orange do I have in that first one? Just 1. You're right. In the second one here, how many do I have? 2. My prediction is that I'm going to add on 1 each time for my orange cubes. Let's see if my prediction is correct. How many do I have in this third stack here? 3, which means my prediction was correct. I'm adding on 1 more orange cube each time. So if I had 1, then 2, then 3, how many orange cubes would I have on in my fourth stack where I'm extending? So smart, friends. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm adding on 1 more each time. So if I want to add on another stack and continue to extend my growing pattern, I'm going to have how many orange? If I had 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, I would have, you got it, 5 orange cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice job, friends. So we've solved for the green cubes. On those, we added 2 each time, and we went from 2 up to 10. Then we solved on the second one, the orange color. That one, the pattern rule was we were adding on 1 each time. So we went from 1 up to 5. Now, what is our last color here, friends? On our last or third pattern here is, yep, the purple cubes. Let's see how many are in this very first one. I can see that there's a lot. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I had 10 in that first stack. Let's see how many in my second stack have purple cubes, and then maybe I can make a prediction about what my pattern rule is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I had 10 purple cubes in my first stack, and then I had 8 purple cubes in my second stack. So I went from 10 to 8. What do you guys think? What's a prediction we could make for what the pattern rule might be? If I had 10 and then I went down to 8, how many did I get rid of or take away? So amazing, friends. We took away 2. So we went from 10 to 8. So my prediction is that we're going to take away 2 in the purple. Let's see if we're right. Count the purple in the third stack here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I went 10, 8, 6. I'm right. I'm taking away 2 each time. So if I want to extend on the next one, so I had on this one here, this is our third stack in the picture. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I want to take away 2. We've found our pattern rule. So I had 6, take away 2, 1, 2. How many do I have? You're amazing, friends. 4 purple cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then take away 2 again. If I have 4, I want to take away 1, 2. How many purple cubes do I have in my last stack? So smart. I had 2 purple cubes in my last stack. You see how this last one was a little bit more challenging for us, but after practicing these first 2 patterns, I didn't think this last one was so hard. All we had to do was practice and look at all the different colors and find the pattern rule for each. So again, for our green, we were adding on 2 each time. So you can see here, friends, look at all these stacks. I went from 2, 4, 6, 8, all the way up to 10. Then I looked at my orange one. My orange one, our pattern rule was we were adding on 1 each time. So I went from 1 to 5 in my last stack. And then our pattern rule for the purple was we took away 2 each time. So I'm also noticing that that was the opposite of what we did with our green. Our green, we added on 2 each time, and our purple, we took away 2 each time. And then that made it easier for us to understand and to solve. You guys are amazing. I thought we could just do some real simple review, friends, for patterns. What comes next? Okay, so let's look at this first one here. I see I have a circle, 2 squares, a circle, 2 squares. What comes next? I'm just gonna draw it right in here. Circle, 2 squares, circle, 2 squares. What is it? So smart, friends. A circle and 2 squares. Now, what kind of pattern is that? 1, then 2, or A, B, B. You are amazing, friends. I figured out that our pattern was A, B, B. Then let's look at the second one here. I have a triangle, rectangle, triangle, rectangle, triangle, rectangle. One then the other, or A, then B. And if I want to continue on after my triangle, rectangle, I would have to add on another triangle and another rectangle. Last one, friends. Number 3, hexagon, heart, diamond. Hexagon, heart, diamond. What would come next? Hexagon, heart, and a diamond. And I already noticed it was 1, then another, making it an ABC pattern. Amazing job, friends. Thank you for all your hard work this week. And I cannot wait to see you guys again next week. Thanks. Bye.
Teaching in Room 9 is made possible with support of Bank of America, Dana Brown Charitable Trust, Emerson, and viewers like you.